Hello fellow makers and welcome back to 3D printed soup. Now, I love wargaming, as I'm sure you've worked out by now. I love printing terrain for it, I love printing vehicles and figures for it. And just recently I did a series on Megaliths, which has been created by a friend of the channel, Digital Taxidermy, and they've got a Kickstarter coming up where you can buy their wonderful megalith terrain. I'm not paid by them, they just sent me the stuff to review, and I love reviewing stuff from them, and it's always nice and detailed. Now last week I did a couple of smaller pieces. This is sort of the monolith thing here. It's great, looks like sort of like a waypoint from No Man's Sky. And this, which sort of looks like a sort of Stargate crossed with some kind of ankh or a piece of Stonehenge. And yeah, it's absolutely lovely, encased in rock. And these are big, chunky, ancient pieces of technology sticking out of the ground. They've been there for thousands of years. And yeah, they look really good in the battlefield. They're good for lining shots up with, they're good for way markers, and they're great for terrain to hide behind and conceal things. So yeah, very much like these. However, they did a few larger ones. I really wanted to print those last week, but I just ran out of time, so I printed lots of the smaller ones. And this week, I printed some bigger ones. So, we're going to go on and we're going to print ourselves some big, chunky terrain pieces this week. You know I love big, chunky terrain pieces. Before I do, however, thanks to everyone who has liked and subscribed this week. If you haven't done, drag your cursor down, find the subscribe button, give that a click. Welcome to the secret cult, which is 3D printed soup. The handshake kind of goes like that. You'll get the hang of it. Now let's get on and print ourselves some wonderful, wonderful megaliths. Love that word. With the paint applied, these things are done. And oh, the detail on these is beautiful. I love this. It kind of looks like the Colossus of Rhodes has fallen over, which I imagine it did because it's no longer standing there. But yeah, and it's just this crushed face embedded into this rock face on this middle of this battlefield. At some point there's some huge statue or some edifice, but it's collapsed, fallen down, and has now become just another part of this planet's crust, and it just looks wonderful. I painted it so it looks like it's made out of bronze with this lovely green colour to it. As you know, bronze oxidizes. When it gets old, it gets this lovely green colour to it. And yeah, I did that with some contrast paints, and then I got a lighter green and dry brushed it at the top to pick up the cheekbones, the eyebrows, the chin and the nose. And yeah, that's brought it out beautifully. especially like the way that the eye has come out and it's just sitting there half embedded in rock. I mean, if you use this with epic scale miniatures, you know, the teeny tiny millimetre high ones, this would just look like sort of Mount Rushmore. Or if you use sort of Warhammer 40,000, it's just a nice piece of chunky terrain for you to hide a tank behind or put some snipers on. It's turned out beautifully, and the level of detail they put into this is great. You've got the iris and you've got the cheekbones. It's just a lovely piece of 3D design, which I very much enjoy printing. I printed this particular one on the Ender 3, and yeah, that came out very, very nicely. And then I got on to the piece that I really wanted to print, the Techno pyramid. This thing has got a flavour of sort of Egypt about it. Also, though, when you remove the front faces, it's got a sort of a Forbidden Planet kind of massive sort of shaft of electrical technology going up it. And yeah, this is sort of ancient stone built from these beautiful, beautiful pieces of ancient technology from some lost race. I'm thinking sort of the Necrons, or like the missing creatures from Forbidden Planet, where they've only got their technology left and they've turned to dust millions of years ago and just left these weird things that no one quite knows what they did. And this is great. I mean, you can use that with your figures to basically have sort of verticality. You can basically shoot round it. It's got holes and bits and pieces through it, so you could probably do pot shots through it while leaving yourself a little bit of cover. This just looked absolutely great in the middle of your battlefield as you sort of march your infantry units around it. And I'm very, very happy with the way that's turned out. It was a big chunky one, so I printed that on my Delta printer, the FLSUN there. And yeah, this just went so beautifully. And I printed the outside bits on the Ender 3 S1 Pro, which coped very well with those. I couldn't quite get the base to fit on Kira's build plate. So yeah, I did it on the big circular FLSUN one. And yeah, this has turned out lovely. It's chunky, it's beautiful, and yeah, very cool piece of terrain. Thank you very much for Digital Taxidermy sending these across to me. As I say, I don't get paid by Digital Taxidermy. They just sent me some stuff to review, and I'm always happy to review stuff if anyone sends it in. So, thanks for watching 3D Printed Soup. Stay happy and safe. Keep printing. Hey!